Sometimes I wonder what my life would have turned out to be had I stuck with something a long time ago. I feel like, my mom gave me a lot of freedom growing up. I was still disciplined, but it wasn't, oh, you go to school, you get a job, you fucking, you go to school, you go to college, you get a good job, you make good money. Like, it was never that. It was always follow your dreams, start a business, do what you love to do, which I am so eternally grateful for. But with great power comes great responsibility, and with freedom comes great responsibility that I don't think most people think about when they think about the concept of freedom, right? So for me, because even down to like religion, because I didn't have like that structure of religion, I battled with a lot growing up, a lot of morality conflicts, a lot of identity conflicts, which not to say that if I didn't grow up like this, that I wouldn't deal with that, but I wouldn't know because that's not how I grew up. You know what I mean? And so at least with religion, I explored a lot, and that shit probably looked confusing to other people too, because I remember when I was claiming to be a Hebrew Israelite just because I found a lot of resonance with them. And then I got into the spiritual miracle shit, as my boyfriend says. And I used to just be like, I don't even want to talk about this because I don't really know what you were. And then you would talk about Islam, because my mom used to take us to the Nation of Islam. And now you're a Hebrew Israelite, and then now you're a witch. Like, I always felt ashamed, I guess. Ashamed is a good word. I felt shame around growing. And isn't that such a weird thing? Or changing my mind. I felt shame around changing my mind to the point where I felt like it made me look super unserious. And so going back to the hobbies and stuff, or if I just didn't give up on something, oh my gosh, I can go back far as fuck, but I used to look around and I would see people and they would know what the fuck they wanted to be for the rest of their lives from 5 years old. And for me, that thing was, I wanted to be a mother since I was 5. Like, when I grow up, oh, I want to be a mommy. That's what I used to say. That has changed recently, which I have a blog post on it. Y'all can go read that vulnerable ass shit. But that was the only thing that has remained consistent throughout my life. Everything else was kind of just like, let's try it. Let's figure it out, right? So I've always been a creative. I used to write songs. I used to paint. So that's why a lot of the stuff you guys are seeing me do now is me remembering who the fuck I am. But I used to do that. I went to an arts school for middle school, majored in choir and dance. And then it was like, oh, I want to go to a high school that has sports. So I go to a high school, a technology high school, magnet school. I major in IT. So, because I'm a tech baby, so why not? Like, I be coding and all of that shit. So I go there, and I'm really good at coding. I'm good at e-commerce. I'm good at coding. I'm good at graphic design. I'm good at computer shit. Always have. I used to code MySpace layouts for $5 as a child. Like, it's very easy. Computer technology things are very easy to me, but I'm a Gen Z, so Gen Z shit. right? And so then I'm like, so I graduate high school early, and I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? Well, let's try to go to college, because what else are you gonna do? But like I said, nobody forced college down my throat. And I feel like when it comes to college, you have to be groomed in a way for that. Not in a bad way, but like you have to know what you're doing. Like when I randomly decided I'm gonna go to college, it was literally like the second quarter of my senior year. So now I'm rushing to take the SAT. I'm rushing to take the ACT. I don't really understand financial aid. I don't really understand none of this, but I'm just gonna go. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm a major in, but I changed my major 3 times. I was chemistry, then I was biology. And then I was like, well, if I want to get a good job, maybe I should do like the engineering something. Let me put this out. Maybe I should do the engineering something. So I switched it to biomedical engineering. And then as I was leaving college, I was like, maybe I should just do graphic design. But I ended up, my freshman year of college, or I guess my only year of college, was so horrible, so fucking traumatic. I don't even think people understand how deeply traumatic that shit was. And yeah, I don't even want to get into it. But so I leave. I do the Disney college program as like a way out. I do the Disney college program. I have a fucking time of my life. I'm like, maybe I should stay here and just work for the company. And then while I'm there, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll go home and go to cosmetology school, because I'm already doing that. I already do hair. I already do makeup. That shit started in college, you know? Like, random people would be like, oh, I love your makeup, come do mine. Oh, I love your hair, come do mine. So I was like, I'm good at this. So that's what I end up doing. I go to cosmetology school. That's when I get into makeup. I'm like, what, 18, 19 at this point? I get into makeup. I start posting makeup on the internet. And then I realize I don't really like doing hair. I like doing makeup. I mean, I still finished the program, still got my license, and then I was doing makeup and stuff. But I don't ever feel like I was successful with makeup. Maybe other people think that I am. But I just remember during this whole duration that I was doing makeup, I was posting, I was doing like the influencing stuff, and I was also doing makeup in real life. It was so hard for me to maintain clientele in real life. It was so hard for me to survive. Like, that was a very, very dark period of my life. This whole shit, honestly, whatever. Because there were happy times too, so I'm not gonna make it seem like I just went through this period of darkness, but I feel like I chose something. I finally felt like I chose something and was sticking to something, and it just wasn't going good. And I did makeup from the time I was 17, because I went to college at 17, to the time till I was 25, when I left my ex-boyfriend. And that whole time, things got better when I moved to Dallas in 2020. Things got better when I moved to Dallas because bridal is so big in Dallas. I was able to just join a bridal company, and they find the clients, I just do the work, I go home, I got paid pretty well. So that was probably the only time that I saw success, a little bit of success in my makeup career. I mean, I've done celebrity makeup here and there, but I don't know. And then I would sit and I would think, like, I would hear people say, oh, it takes time. It took me 10 years. I remember Jackie Aina saying it took her 10 years or 7 years or something like that for her to really like get popping. And I was just like, I don't know if I like this enough to wait 7 years for it to be successful, right? And then in the midst of that, I feel like the time period that I was doing makeup was just me doing a bunch of side hustles. So I was doing graphic design, I was doing branding, I was doing social media management, and then of course I was still influencing, so I was doing brand deals. But I would delete my accounts and start over because I felt like people didn't like me. I would rebrand. It was just a lot. And I think I would sell edibles. That I had more success with edibles than anything ever. And the edible shit, I was like, well, maybe this can be my thing. Maybe I can move to California or a legal state and make things there. Maybe I can start an actual baking company. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was nothing that was like, oh, I'm obsessed with this. I love this. It was always just like, I'm good at this. So let me see if I can make money from it. And so that just resulted in me trying a bunch of shit. Oh, I'm good at this. Let me try it. I don't really like that. Let me try something else that I'm good at. I don't really like that. Maybe I should just get a job. Oop. Can't really get a job or keep a job because I ain't never worked no real job. You know? Anyway, I think the biggest thing that used to get on my nerves is I used to have people tell me, oh, you're a jack of all trades. I hated that shit. I hate still to this day that shit. Or I would have people say, oh, girl, you're always up to something. I don't know if they meant it maliciously or not, but that's how I took it. I took it maliciously. Because what the fuck are you talking about? Like, do you think I'm unserious? Do I come off as unserious? And then people would always say, oh, she's a free spirit. When they was talking about me, Mikayla's a free spirit. You're such a free spirit. I remember I was talking to this guy, just a friend, and he was like, you can't do everything. People are going to think that you're a scammer. And I think that kind of stuck with me because so now I'm at a point where I feel like people see me as unserious. I have to stick to one thing. Cool. I found the spiritual, well, I didn't find the spirit. I've always been spiritual, but publicly, starting a spiritual brand. And I feel like I found my thing. This is my thing. This will always be my thing. I feel like sometimes I try to be really rigid in my approach to my business or to my life now. Like, you have to sell these. You have to sell this much and make this much to survive this much. And you want this, and you have to do things this way and blah, 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 blah. And it's very analytical, which I'm a Virgo rising, so, right? However, I always say I don't like feeling like I'm pimping spirit. When I start feeling like I'm pimping spirit, that's when I feel like I face resistance. And I face hardship. So that can't be it either. And so I have been, like I said, I've been playing with all of these different art forms, just trying to get back into myself. Like, what is the answer here? Once again, I'm going through my nodal return. So I'm pre-Saturn return. My Saturn return isn't until next year. I turned 28 this year. And I think I'm just getting back to what was comfortable for me, but also how does this contribute to my ascension? Because clearly what I've been doing hasn't been working. I need something to work. I need to be happy while doing something, while being fucking for real. Like, I just feel like I'm just not being fucking for real, which is why I abandoned art for so long. I abandoned writing, singing, you know, amidst all the trauma and rejection. I abandoned things that I loved along the way of my life because I felt like I was being unserious. So, the past year, I have been encountering nothing but fucking Geminis. Okay, Gemini's in my 10th house, but I don't have any Gemini placements. I am a Pisces sun, Aquarius moon, Virgo rising, Mercury in Pisces. So my chart ruler is Mercury in Pisces. I don't like Gemini. I've never liked Gemini. My entire life, I've only had problems with Libra and with Gemini. And I've figured out the conflict, the friction with Libra. Like, oh, y'all not fake. We just ain't friends like that. Maybe I should learn how to just be cool with people. Like that was, it's not about superficiality. Because I used to feel like my relationships with Libra was very superficial, very fake. I have Mars in Libra, retrograde. I just used to feel like it was very superficial, but maybe it's like, it's not about being fake. It's just like, we cool. We can be cool. You do something for me, I do something for you. Like, let's not expect this to be more than what it is. And that was the lesson with them. And I can respect it. With Gemini, it was just like, I don't get it. I don't get why you keep sending me these fucking people, because they seem very unserious, very scattered, very annoying, very, I don't know enough about anything. I just know just enough to go on a tangent about it, but I don't actually know all the information. That's just how I feel about Gemini. And of course, Pisces squares Gemini. So does Virgo. Pisces and Virgo both square Gemini. So when it comes to the square aspect, there's usually some room for growth here. There's friction for maturation. This is something that should be sharpening you. And it got to a point where it was like, okay, that's how I'm looking at it, but why am I the only person here that's trying to sharpen myself in this Pisces Gemini relationship, right? So it's like, fuck it, I don't like it. It's cool. We don't get along. That's cool. But I have been reflecting on why the fuck they keep sending me Gemini. And I feel like this also ties into my resistance with this jester archetype, where it's like, I'm tap dancing for the internet. I'm making goofy ass, silly ass fucking reels that are now going viral that I don't want to do. Yeah. So I checked my solar return chart for this upcoming year. So March 5th this year, I'm a 29-degree Gemini rising and a 2-degree Gemini moon. Okay, so I really need to learn the lesson. I really need to learn the lesson here, right? And so the thing that I have come to understand or respect about Gemini is the ability to lean into curiosity. So I'm thinking of Kanye West. Even though he's gone fucking buku fucking crazy bananas, his curiosity led him to being one of the greatest producers of our time. Willow Smith, who has Jupiter and Gemini in the first house. She's a Gemini rising, and I love the fact that she just makes whatever she wants to make. I'm gonna put out a rock album, I'm gonna put out a jazz album. It might be R&B, it might not. Like, I'm going to make what I feel like making because I'm letting my curiosity take me wherever I want to go. There's so many Geminis in art that are great. Kendrick Lamar, Lauryn Hill, Tupac, all of them are Geminis, great at what they do. But it was Willow Smith. It was really Willow Smith that made me be like, yeah, I love that she does whatever the fuck she wants to do. And of course, I have, because I'm a Gemini rising this upcoming year, that puts Jupiter and Gemini in my first house for my birthday. So I'm really paying attention to Willow now, because I'm like, yeah, this is probably how I'll be showing up in the world this year. And now it makes sense why I'm tapping into, why I'm coming back to like all of these art projects that I used to do. And so I'm like, okay, I've been rejecting this archetype because it just feels silly and unserious, like I just explained. It feels very silly and unserious. However, what if that's just another way for me to get my message across? Or for me to, I feel like things have been feeling very empty and hollow, because it's like, what's the overarching theme? Once again, the overarching theme for me is changing how people see and connect with God, no matter what the modality is, whether you're a Christian, Muslim, witch, whether you sing, dance, act, like How do you encounter God? Finding the magical moments in everything. It's very Neptunian for me. Like, find the God in all practical, and find the magic in the mundane, right? And so I think of things, I'm like, I'm even thinking of like Cowboy Carter. Like, I just think of art or of artists who are able to get their point across and change the world on a grand scale based on their body of work. They don't have to speak too much, but they're changing how we see or interact with something in a medium that we understand. So I brought up Cowboy Carter because Cowboy Carter was a body of work, even Renaissance. Like, these are bodies of work that not only reclaimed a genre that was always ours, but it was almost educational in a way of, who are these people? What is this song about? What are these references? Wow, now I'm digging deep into what this means as an educational piece. But these is just some songs, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then there's some people who just consume art as entertainment, but art to me has always been, I always say art is like, it's just a close, it's a way to, creation is a form of you being in your God body. Like, God created and we were made in God's image, so we also have the ability to create, right? So I was thinking of that, even though I don't think Beyonce has Gemini placements. Yeah, I don't know. I need to look at her chart again. But I'm like, you having all of these hobbies and interests and things that you enjoy, they can all fall under one umbrella. You don't have to choose one thing under the guise of, oh, I'm not gonna look serious, you know? Get your point across in whatever medium you need to get your point across in. Say what you need to say, however you feel you need to say what the fuck you need to say. So I'm realizing how all of the things that I've been interested in has helped me today. Art, music, dance, right? Brand strategy, social media management, graphic design, coding, makeup, styling, creative directing. I'm realizing how all of these things have not been isolated, but have all contributed to me following my destiny, or contributing to this spell that my life is, and getting me to a place where I can wear multiple hats and I can communicate in the language. That's very mercurial too, like being able to move in different rooms and speak the language of the people that you're trying to talk to. And I kind of said that on the occult Bible study chat too, where it was like, if I'm talking to a Christian, I can reference the Bible. If I'm talking to a Muslim, I can reference the Quran. You know, if I'm talking to a witch, I can reference the tarot. If I'm talking to an astrologer, I can reference the stars. It's just being able to communicate with people in the way that they understand best. And that's not just limited to religion. I can speak to people through art. I can speak to people through styling. I can speak to people through branding. I can speak to people in all of the ways that I have learned to communicate. And how, because I am a Pisces sun and I have a moon Jupiter conjunction, it's like I think very big. I have a lot of big philosophical ideas, but the universe and God speaks to us through vibrations, through sounds, through colors, through feelings. So it is up to me to then translate that into whatever medium, whether it's English, whether it's music, whatever, right? That's the beauty of being an astrologer too, because I have to be able to translate the vibrations of this chart into English for you to understand. And I think I was limiting myself and limiting my gifts because I was afraid of looking unserious. So yeah, so it's not that I should have stuck with something. It's that I needed to see how all of these things contribute to my greatest good. And now that I found my overarching theme and something that I'm really passionate about, it doesn't matter whether I keep my business open or not, or whether I switch careers again, because I'm so dedicated and rooted in my connection to God, to spirit, to source. And I truly feel like finding the God in everything will make us all happier, healthier people, and thus subsequently change the world and make the world a better place. Because I'm so rooted in that and rooted in my faith in that way, I can do anything and I can try anything, and it will always come back to that. So yeah, I feel really good. I'm understanding now why God has been sending me all these fucking Geminis. And so now I'm going off to create, and I need to shower and stuff. But yeah, it's all starting to click for me. Thank you, Gemini, for being as chaotic as y'all are. Bye.